Welcome to the Psychology and Physical Training channel, Values in Counselling, Legal and Ethical Considerations in Counselling. Have you ever pondered about the ethical implications that come with counselling? Well, it's a vital aspect that shapes the entire counselling profession. It's the invisible hand that guides the relationship between a counsellor and a client, ensuring respect, trust and mutual understanding. In this journey, we will navigate through the complexities of ethical considerations in counselling. We are going to examine the importance of confidentiality, an imperative cornerstone that upholds the integrity of the counselling process. We will also delve into ethical and moral principles which act as the compass guiding the counsellor's actions. Furthermore, we'll explore the code of professional ethics, a set of rules that governs the conduct of counsellors. We'll discuss ethical standards for evaluation, a crucial factor in maintaining the quality of counselling services. Lastly, we'll address some criticisms to counselling, a necessary step to ensure the continuous improvement and adaptation of the profession. Embark on this journey with us as we delve into the heart of ethical considerations in counselling. Confidentiality in counselling. Imagine a world where your deepest secrets are not safe with your counsellor. Unsettling, isn't it? In the realm of counselling, confidentiality isn't just a professional courtesy, it's a non-negotiable necessity. Here's why. Counselling at its core is about fostering a relationship of trust between the counsellor and the client. It's about creating a safe space where individuals can share their deepest thoughts, fears and experiences without fear of judgment or exposure. Now, imagine that this sacred trust is breached. Picture a scenario where personal information shared in confidence is carelessly or maliciously revealed. The consequences can be devastating. The client may feel betrayed, their trust shattered. They may withdraw from therapy altogether, potentially missing out on the help they need. In some instances, this breach could even lead to damaging social, professional, or legal repercussions for the client. For example, consider a client confiding about their struggle with substance abuse. If this information were to leak, it could impact their job security or personal relationships. Or take the case of a teenager revealing their sexual orientation in a counselling session, only to have that information disclosed without their consent. Such a breach could lead to a host of negative outcomes, including family conflict or bullying. Confidentiality, therefore, isn't just about keeping secrets. It's about respecting the individual's right to privacy. It's about understanding that the information shared in the counselling room isn't just data, but a piece of someone's life story. However, it's also important to note that confidentiality isn't absolute. There are exceptions, such as when there's a risk of harm to the client or others, or when legal requirements necessitate disclosure. These are typically outlined in the informed consent process, ensuring that clients are aware of their rights and the limits of confidentiality. So, what does this all mean for counsellors? Simply put, honoring confidentiality means safeguarding the trust that forms the foundation of the therapeutic relationship. It means recognizing and respecting the vulnerability of clients who choose to share their stories. Confidentiality, therefore, forms the bedrock of counselling relationships. Ethical and moral principles. Do counsellors always know what's right or wrong in a given situation? An intriguing question, isn't it? The answer, perhaps unsurprisingly, is not always. That's where ethical and moral principles come in, serving as guiding lights in the often murky waters of counselling situations. Let's delve into this a bit more. The ethical and moral principles that guide counsellors are not unlike those that guide us in our daily lives. They include autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. Autonomy, the respect for the client's right to be self-governing, is essential. Counsellors must always respect the decisions and choices of their clients, even when they might not agree with them. They should provide the necessary information and support to help clients make informed decisions. But ultimately, the choice lies in the hands of the client. Beneficence, the principle of doing good, calls on counsellors to actively contribute to the well-being of their clients. This can be as simple as providing a safe and non-judgmental space for clients to express themselves, or as complex as navigating difficult conversations that lead to personal growth. Non-maleficence, the principle of doing no harm, is crucial. Counsellors must ensure that their actions do not cause harm to their clients, either physically or emotionally. This means being mindful of the power dynamics in the counselling relationship and avoiding any potential exploitation. And finally, justice, the principle of fairness and equality, demands that counselors treat all clients with equal respect and dignity, regardless of their background, beliefs, or circumstances. These principles, however, are not rigid rules, but rather flexible guides that can adapt to the unique needs and contexts of each client. They require a delicate balance and a deep understanding of the complexities of human behavior. Counselors must continuously reflect on these principles and how they apply to their practice. So do counselors always know what's right or wrong? Well, it's not always clear-cut, but these principles serve as the compass, guiding counselors through the intricate maze of ethical dilemmas. Code of Professional Ethics. What governs the conduct of professionals in the field of counseling? Well, that's where the Code of Professional Ethics comes into play. This code serves as a compass, guiding professionals through the complex maze of ethical dilemmas they may face in their practice. The Code of Professional Ethics is not just a set of rules to follow, it's a declaration of the core values that underpin the profession of counseling. It's about respect for the dignity and worth of all individuals, promoting well-being and acting with integrity. It's a commitment to treating others fairly with kindness and understanding. One of the key standards outlined in the code is the principle of autonomy. This principle acknowledges the client's right to make decisions about their own lives. Counselors are there to guide, not to dictate. They provide the tools and insights that can help clients navigate their own paths. Another important standard is non-maleficence, which is a fancy way of saying do no harm. This means that counselors must always strive to avoid actions that could cause harm to their clients, whether physical, psychological, or emotional. They must consider the potential impact of their actions and make choices that minimize risk and maximize benefit. Confidentiality is also a cornerstone of the code. It's crucial for building trust and establishing a safe space where clients can openly share their thoughts and feelings. There are exceptions, of course, particularly when there's a risk of harm to the client or others. But these exceptions are clearly defined and carefully managed to protect the client's privacy as much as possible. The Code of Professional Ethics is not a static document. It evolves over time, adapting to societal changes and advances in our understanding of human behavior. It's a living, breathing guide that reflects the ongoing commitment of counselors to uphold the highest standards of professionalism and integrity. In essence, the Code of Professional Ethics serves as the rule book, ensuring professionalism and integrity in counseling. It's a beacon of light in the often murky waters of ethical decision-making, providing clarity and direction for those who dedicate their lives to helping others. Ethical standards for evaluation. How do we measure if a counselor is abiding by ethical standards? This is a pertinent question when we delve into the realm of counseling. Ethical standards for evaluation serve as the cornerstone of this profession. They are the yardstick by which we measure the moral compass of a counselor's conduct. These standards are not just ornamental, they play a pivotal role in safeguarding the dignity and rights of clients while ensuring the integrity of the profession. They help to foster a culture of accountability and transparency, creating a safe and respectful environment for everyone involved. But how do we monitor these standards? Well, there are mechanisms in place to ensure that these ethical standards are not just empty words. Professional bodies like the American Psychological Association have established guidelines and code of conduct to monitor the behavior of counselors. These bodies have the authority to enforce these standards and take disciplinary action when necessary. Moreover, peer reviews and audits are also conducted regularly. These reviews not only keep a check on the counselor's adherence to ethical standards, but also provide an opportunity for learning and professional growth. In essence, ethical standards for evaluation are not just about monitoring and enforcement, they are about fostering a culture of honesty, respect, and integrity in the counseling profession. They act as a compass, guiding counselors in their professional journey. Ethical standards for evaluation act as a mirror, reflecting the ethical health of the counseling profession. Criticisms to counseling. Is counseling infallible, or does it have its own share of criticisms? Like any other profession, counseling is not without its criticisms. One common critique is the potential for dependency. Some argue that counseling can create a dependency where clients rely heavily on their therapists for decision-making and emotional support rather than developing these capacities within themselves. Another critique is the perceived ineffectiveness of counseling. Critics might argue that counseling is a slow process with no guaranteed results. They might also suggest that it is subjective, as its effectiveness can greatly depend on the rapport between the client and the counselor. Perhaps the most serious criticism is the potential for ethical breaches. In a field that deals with the deepest vulnerabilities of individuals, ethical violations such as breaches of confidentiality or inappropriate relationships can have severe consequences. However, these criticisms, while valid, can also be addressed. To avoid dependency, counselors can cultivate client autonomy by teaching self-help strategies and decision-making skills. To address perceived ineffectiveness, counselors can continuously update their knowledge and skills, adapting their methods to each client's individual needs. And to prevent ethical breaches, counselors can adhere strictly to professional ethics codes, embracing transparency and accountability in their practice. So, while counseling does face its share of criticisms, these criticisms can also serve as catalysts for growth and improvement in the field. In the end, criticisms, when addressed constructively, can pave the way for the evolution and improvement of counseling. Conclusion. So what does all of this mean for the field of counseling? Well, we've journeyed through the importance of confidentiality, the guiding ethical and moral principles, the professional code of ethics, standards for evaluation, and even the criticisms that counseling faces. These are not mere theoretical constructs, but the very foundations that uphold the integrity of counseling. They safeguard the rights of clients while guiding the actions of counselors. In the end, the ethical considerations in counseling serve as the pillars supporting this noble profession. And if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe and follow to the Psychology and Physical Training channel for more videos. Thanks for watching.